Well, I appreciate the question, and it's an appropriate one. I mean, we're all absorbing. We heard some rumors as early as yesterday, a few days ago. Someone said something may be coming out, an investigation as it relates to this. And, it's March 30th, I think at the end of the month, César Chavez Day. And, every year the governor of California proclaims César Chavez Day. It's in statute. How many days I've marched, how many times I've been with students, talking about the movement, and how many photographs I have in my house of Bobby Kennedy and César Chavez. Woke up this morning, it was right there. And so it's been hard to absorb this. Jen and I are very close with Dolores, so many of us are, but very close. Have been for decades and decades, and none of us knew. I think all of us are processing it. And just these kids have to process it now. I mean, I think there's, Brooks, I don't know, was 36 schools in the state are named after César Chavez. I don't know, community in the country. I traveled to 14 states last few weeks. I think I was, in 14 César Chavez streets in every part of this country. So we're just going to have to reflect on all of that and, reflect on a farm workers movement and a labor movement that was much bigger than one man and celebrate that. And that will be our focus as we process what the next steps are. There was never an indication all these years, particularly having spent so much time with Dolores and now finding about 2 kids. I mean, it was, just a lot to process. So look, I think, again, it's about the movement. It's about farm workers. It's about labor. It's about social justice, economic justice, racial justice, all things that the movement has inspired, and we should all be celebrating. Obviously, these are brand new conversations, so we're having conversations in a very public way right now, but those are important conversations. I think we need to have those conversations. I think that's the right thing to do. But we have to unpack all this and dive a little bit deeper, seek first to understand before we're understood, before we jump to the next steps. And so there's a sense of urgency on that in the context of this being, month we celebrate the life and times of a figure we've long embraced and revered. And so now we're learning more. And we have to be there for the back of the victims, and we have to make sure truth and trust is restored, and we have to make sure we're transparent and people are accountable in that context.
If you like this video, then like, share, and subscribe to Mirror Now.